Hi, now we are going to discuss about list versus tuple. So we are going to compare what is list and what is tuple, and what is the difference between the list and tuples. So the basic things, two items that we might know: list is mutable, whereas tuple is immutable. This is the very basic thing that we must know, that because list, if we create a list, we can able to modify it, but tuple cannot be modified. And list of elements of the list will be stored within the square bracket, for example 1 2 3, like, and tuple element will be stored in the parenthesis. So this is the two difference, basic difference. This is the way that how does it work, whether it is mutable or immutable, and this is how do we store the element. And list takes more memory compared to tuple. Tuple takes less memory. We'll see how, in coding wise, whether list takes more memory or tuple takes more memory. Maybe right after this we'll see that. And list takes more time to process the data, and this is less time. So time wise also tuple is better, and memory wise also tuple is better. So we'll see that now. Let's compare the memory first. For that I'm going to use the sys library. What I'm going to say, sys library has a function called get size of. In that I'm going to pass a list with 1 to 10. Let's say this is the list of element. Let me keep it in the print statement. List size is whatever it is. This is the size of the list that I'm going to store the number from 1 to 10. The same thing I'm going to copy. There is no changes except the changes in the type. Instead of the square bracket, I'm going to use parenthesis to make them as a tuple of element. And now let's print it as a tuple. Now if I run this, you will see the number wise, its list also is storing 1 to 10. Tuple also is going to store 1 to 10 only. There is no difference in that. What I'm going to do, let me run it now and we'll see the exact difference of the list and tuple. So I think I need to add one more bracket. Yes. See, we see that list takes 136 bytes to store the element 1 to 10. Tuple takes only 120 bytes. Why so? The same number, how does it varies? Because list is mutable object. So we may need to add a new elements and we do some operations. So list will ready to take up the new values if we are going to add it. So for that purpose, list will consume some buffer memory. Whenever we create a list, it will not consume only what it is needed to store the element. It also takes some buffer memory to accommodate the new data that going to come in. So list is taking more memory than tuple because of that reasons. But tuple will not occupy any buffer memory because it knows very well that once we create the tuple, we will not able to modify anything. That's the reason memory wise tuple is better. The second one is the time wise. For understanding the time wise, let's use the library called timeit library. And timeit library has a function called timeit. There I have a two parameters statement. I'm just going to give the same list of 1 to 10. And if I want to process this list maybe 1 million times, let's see how much time it takes. Okay, this is the time that list is going to take. So I'm just going to print list time. And this time will be very less. To make it zoom, I just multiply with 1000. The same thing I'm going to copy and paste for tuple also, because we wanted to compare both list and tuple. Only the type of data I'm going to change to make them as a tuple. No other changes except the print, because it is a tuple time. So if I run this, you will see the difference is list consumes 71 milliseconds, whereas tuple takes only 5 milliseconds. See how far the difference is. Because if I store the element as a tuple and if I want to process, it runs much faster. So it could be used when you want to optimize some programming timing and all. You may think of changing the data type. If it is a list, you can try changing to tuple. Like, when should I change? Like, if I have the list created but I'm not going to do any changes, then there is no point of creating the list. We need to create as a tuple, because tuple runs much faster, uncomparable, and also tuple consumes less memory. So these are the four differences that we should know. List is mutable, tuple is immutable. List, we create a list within the square bracket and tuple within the parenthesis. And list takes more memory than tuple, or tuple takes less memory than list. And list takes more time to process the data, where if it is a tuple, it takes very less time, guys. So these are the very important differences. If you say this, then okay, we are good in this concept. Like, that's how people are thinking. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.